Income taxation fringe benefit part 2. Valuation guidelines on taxable fringe benefits. If the fringe benefit is granted in money or it is directly paid for by the employer, then the value of amount granted or paid for is 100%. If the fringe benefit is granted or furnished by the employer in property other than money and ownership is transferred to the employee, then the value of fringe benefit shall be equal to the fair value of the property as determined in accordance with Section 6, which is monetary value is equal to fair market value of property times 100%. If the fringe benefit is granted or furnished by employer in property other than money, but ownership is not transferred to the employee, the value of fringe benefit is equal to the depreciation value of property. Monetary value is equal to depreciation value of property times 100%. Alright, for this purpose, the guidelines for valuation of specific types of fringe benefits and the determination of the monetary value of fringe benefits are given below. The taxable value shall be the grossed up monetary value of the fringe benefit. Housing privilege. If the employer leases a residential property for the use of his employee and the said property is the usual place of residence and the employee, the value of the benefit shall be the amount of rental paid thereon by employer as evidenced by the lease contract. The monetary value of the fringe benefit shall be 50% of the value of the benefit. You have to remember this, that if it's leased, it is 50%. Leased and not transferred to the employee. Alright. If the employer owns a residential property and the same is assigned for the use of his employee as his usual place of residence, the annual value of the benefit shall be 5% of the market value of the land and improvements as declared in real property tax declaration form or zonal value as determined by BIR Commissioner pursuant to Section 6 of NIRC, whichever is higher. The monetary value of fringe benefit is 50% of the value of the benefit. The monetary value of housing fringe benefit is equal to the following. Monetary value is equal to higher of fair market value or zonal value times 5% times 50%. So I was wrong. It's not just about lease. It's about not owning what was given to you. If the employer just give the right to use the property, it's just 50%, alright? Okay, like this one. If the employer purchased a residential property on installment basis and allows his employee to use the same as his usual place of residence, the annual value of the benefit shall be 5% of the acquisition cost exclusive of interest. The monetary value of fringe benefit shall be 50% of the value of the benefit, or monetary value is equal to acquisition cost except interest times 5% times 50%. If employer purchases a residential property and transfer ownership thereof in the name of the employee, the value of benefit shall be employer's acquisition cost or zonal value as determined by BIR Commissioner pursuant to Section 6, or right, this one. So the property transfers ownership. So monetary value is equal to higher of acquisition cost or zonal value multiplied by 100%. Alright. If the employer purchases a residential property and transfer ownership thereof to his employee for the latter's residential use at a price less than the employer's acquisition, so this one, so excess of the fair market value or zonal value, whichever is higher, over the cost price of the employee times 100%. Alright. Housing privilege of the military officials of the Armed Forces of the Philippines consisting of the officials of the Philippine Army, Philippine Navy, and Philippine Air Force shall not be treated as taxable fringe benefits in accordance with existing doctrine. The state shall provide its soldiers with necessary quarters which are within or accessible from the military camp so that they can readily on call to meet the exigencies of their military service. Alright. Expense account benefit. The monetary value is 100% of actual value of the fringe benefit. In general, expenses incurred by the employee but which are paid by his employer shall be treated as 100% taxable fringe benefits. Expenses paid by employee but reimbursed for his employer shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits, except only when the expenditures are duly receipted for and in the name of the employer, and expenditures do not partake the nature of a personal expense attributed to the employee. Personal expenses of the employee, like purchases of groceries for personal consumption of the employee and his family members, paid for or reimbursed by the employer to the employee, shall be treated 100% taxable fringe benefit. Representation and transportation allowances, which are fixed in the amounts, are regularly received by employees as part of their monthly compensation income, shall not be treated as taxable fringe benefits, but the same shall be considered income subject to tax. Motor vehicle benefit. The determination of the monetary value depends upon the following situation. If the employer purchases a motor vehicle in the name of the employee, the value of the fringe benefits is the acquisition cost thereof. The monetary value of the fringe benefit shall be entire 100% of the fringe benefit, regardless of whether the motor vehicle is used by the employee partly for its personal purposes and partly for the benefit of the employer. Alright. If the employer provides the employee with the cash for the purchase of the motor, so it's just the same, the cash grant times 100%. If the employee purchases the car on installment, the ownership of which is placed in the name of the employee, the value of the benefit shall be acquisition cost excluding interest divided by 5. So acquisition cost except interest divided by 5 years times 100%, that's the monetary value. If the employer shoulders a portion of the amount of the purchase price of the motor, amount shouldered by employer times 100%. If the employer owns and maintains a fleet of motor vehicle, acquisition cost divided by 5 years times 50%, because the transfer won't be, the ownership won't be transferred, so it's 50%. If the employer leases and maintains fleet motor vehicle for the use of business and employee, the value of benefit shall be amount of rental payment for the motor rental or lease payment times 50%. The use of aircraft, including helicopters, exempt from fringe benefit tax. The use of yacht, whether owned and maintained or leased by the employer, shall be treated as taxable fringe benefit. The value of the benefit shall be measured based on the depreciation of the yacht at an estimated useful life of 20 years. 20 years is 5% as well, right? Right, times 100%. Household expenses benefit. The monetary value is 100%. Household expenses value or payments multiplied by 100%. Interest and loan benefits. Excess of 12% interest over the interest actually charged to the employee times 100%. Alright, so if the employer lends money to his employee free of interest or at any rate lower than 12%, such interest foregone by the employer or the difference of the interest assumed by the employee and the rate of 12% shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits. Alright, membership fees benefits. Fees, dues payment times 100%. Expenses of foreign travel. Reasonable business expenses which are paid for foreign travel of his employee for the purpose of attending business meetings or conventions shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits. In this instance, inland travel expenses such as expenses for food, beverages, and local transportation, except lodging costs in a hotel or similar establishment amounting to an average of $300 or less per day, shall be subject to fringe benefit tax. The expenses should be supported by documents proving the actual occurrence of the meetings or conventions. The cost of economy and business class airplane tickets shall not be subject to fringe benefit tax. However, 30% of the cost of the first class airplane ticket shall be subject to a fringe benefit tax. In the absence of documentary evidence showing that the employee's travel abroad was in connection with business meetings or conventions, the entire cost of the ticket, including the cost of hotel accommodations and other expenses incident thereto shouldered by the employer, shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits. The business meetings shall be evidenced by official communications from business associates abroad indicating the purpose of meetings. Business conventions shall be evidenced by official invitations and communications from the host organization or entity abroad. Otherwise, the entire cost thereof shouldered by the employer shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits of the employee. Traveling expenses which are paid by the employer for the travel of family members of the employee shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits for the employee. Holiday and vacation expenses benefit. The monetary value is 100% of the actual value of fringe benefits. Holiday and vacation expense employee borne by his employer shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits. Educational assistance benefits. Monetary value. The cost of educational assistance of the employee which are borne by employer shall in general be treated as taxable fringe benefits. However, a scholarship granted to the employee by the employer shall not be treated as taxable fringe benefit if the education or study involving directly connected with the employee's trade, business, or profession, and there is a written contract between them that the employee is under obligation to remain in the employ of the employer for a period of time that they mutually agreed upon. In this case, the expenditure shall be treated as incurred for convenience and furtherance of the employer's trade or business. So, if that's not the case, well, the monetary value educational assistance expense payment times 100%. The cost of educational assistance extended by an employer to the dependents of an employee shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits of the employee unless assistance was provided through a competitive scheme under the scholarship program of the company. Life and non-life insurance premium benefits. The cost of life, of health insurance, and other non-life insurance premiums borne by employer for his employee shall be treated as taxable fringe benefits. Insurance premium payments times 100%. Contributions of the employer for the benefit of the employee pursuant to the provision existing law such as under SSS, under GSIS, or similar contributions arising from provision of any other are exempt from fringe benefit tax. The cost premiums borne by the employer for the group insurance of his employee exempt from fringe benefit tax. Administrative provision. Who shall file the fringe benefit tax? And every individual, corporation, partnership, association, or government office required to deduct or withhold final income tax from fringe benefits furnished or granted to employees other than rank, file employees. When you want to file the fringe benefit tax, file the fringe benefit tax return on or before 25th day of the month after the end of the calendar quarter. Pay the fringe benefit tax upon filing the fringe benefit tax return on a calendar quarterly basis. File the fringe benefit tax return with the authorized agent bank located with Revenue District Office having jurisdiction over the principal place of the business of the withholding agent. In places where there are no authorized agent bank, the fringe benefit tax shall be filed directly to RDO, collecting officer, or duly authorized treasurer of the city or municipality where the withholding agent place or business is located.